Hey, it's Rich back for another video in this 2023 Piper M600. I'm getting ready to take it from Wichita, Kansas to Omaha, and going to take you along for the ride to tell you all about this beautiful 2023 M600. Battery switch comes on. Fuel pumps go to manual. Ignition switch goes to
Ground
manual.
Beach Test 189.
Start.
Fast 23, Wichita Tower, Ember Jet 2 mile climb, caution with turbulence, right brake, your discretion, runway 19 right, clear for correction, clear to land, and descending brake, your discretion.
Beautiful.
System test. Okay.
All the run-up checks are done. Trims are set. We got fuel. We got a flight plan. Flaps are set for takeoff. Destination field elevation is checked. I checked my flight controls. We're just going to go to manual on ignition and fuel pumps. And turn our pitot heat and stall heat on. That'll be it. Let's just make sure that Charles Toga, it all looks good. 612 Tango Pop will be ready at Alpha 2, 19 left.
Over 612 Tango Pop, Wichita Tower, fly runway heading, runway 19 left at Alpha 2, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 19 left at Alpha 2, 612 Tango Papa.
That was 5420, right. Turn right direct Kyler.
So we're going to go manual. 1, 2. Once here should be clear. Auto throttle's engaged.
Sky was 5422, contact departure, good day.
Going departure, Sky was 5422, good day.
Annunciators are good. Bringing the power up. Should hear a click. Yeah, there they go. There's the click, there's auto throttles. Airspeed's alive, engine instruments are good. 50 knots, cross-checked. 70. Power set, there's rotation speed. Positive rate, gear. Flaps. Bilge. Let's go to FMS mode. Autopilot. Okay, you got gear, flaps, power set good, pressurization.
82 Tango Pop, contact departure, good day.
Good day. Departure 612 Tango Papa's off out of 2200 for 5000 runway heading. Okay, we leveled off and cruise in this 2023 Piper M600. Very low time. It's got less than 100 hours on it. My client just picked up this airplane earlier this year. I got to do some training in it, got checked out, and did a little flying with him. Over the last couple of days, I'm repositioning it to Omaha from Wichita. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to do a review on this airplane, because I've done a Meridian, but I haven't done an M600 yet. And so here we are at 23,000 feet. We climbed up using the auto throttle, which is I think his second or third generation of the M600, the Halo, that also has the auto land feature. And we climbed up here in a short order up to 23. And before I get into the history of this airplane, I'm just going to show you how this auto throttle. So I took off with auto throttle, climbed at 145 knots, got us about 1,500 feet a minute all the way up to 230. And I have it set at a, we'll go into performance, and I have it set at an intermediate cruise in the active performance. So I'm going to hit the cruise tab. I have it set at intermediate. It's 1,000 pounds. So I touch that, and I'm going to go into normal cruise. And you can see the auto throttle coming up here. The auto throttle set the prescribed torque setting for normal cruise, and we'll take a performance hack on that in just a minute. But it's this auto throttle set up in this airplane. I've got a little bit of exposure to auto throttles in the Citation Sovereign and Garmin, system that does really well, and this one is pretty robust. It's has everything from Garmin, very well done, and works as advertised. Get back to the success of the M3 of the PA46 airframe from Piper. I think originally certified in 1983 with a Continental engine as the Malibu. In '88 they went to the Continental or the Lycoming TSI 0540, changed the name to the Mirage, and then sold a lot of those airplanes, did well with it, adapted it to the PT6 in 2000 to be the Meridian, and then had a non-pressurized version for a while with the TSI 0540, the Matrix. Went out of production on the Matrix, I don't know, I could be wrong, maybe around 2011. And then the M600 converted to G3000 Avionics for all of them. Then they went to the M600 2016, and then they rebranded the straight Meridian as the M500 and the Malibu Mirage as the M350. And then earlier this year, they came out with the Piper M700 Fury with the 700 horsepower PT6. And so a lot of success with this particular PA46 airframe with different engines, different avionics. Piper has continued to evolve it to meet customer demand. This particular interior, while they've always been nice, this last variant of this interior that they've done and the refinements, it's really nice. And the quality finish is really good. I think they've taken that paint, design, detail on the airplane have really improved it dramatically over the years. Always a good airplane, but I think the last, let's say, since they went to the M350, 500, 600, 700, they really took a step up in performance, or in fit and finish. The 600, 700 are the only version that has the G3000. The 500 and the 350 have the G1000 NXI. And the 600 is not going to be produced. It was basically replaced with the 700. All very popular airframes. I wrote down some numbers on production on the PA46. It looks like about 400 Malibus, original Malibus, 570 of the Mirage with the Lycoming engine, 700 Meridians, probably including the M500s, and then 250 of the M600s, and again, they just started delivering the M700. And the Matrix they built from 2008 to 2015, again, that was the non-pressurized version of the Malibu, and that was a nice airplane. I did a video on the Matrix, and I like that airplane. I got a lot of useful load out of it. A lot of people, may not feel comfortable going up in the high altitude, pressurized altitude. So, but the demand likely wasn't there for it, so they discontinued that in 2015. The big thing on this last iteration of the M600 that carried forward into the M700 is the auto land with the auto throttle. and as I mentioned from
Garmin,
you know, full integration. You set the auto throttle up here on the autopilot control, and bring the power up a little bit manually. You hear the click, the auto throttle takes over, and it sets you know, max torque for takeoff or temp, depending on where you're at, and really reduces the workload. I mean, typically a takeoff go around or high workload parts of the flight, and so that auto throttle really makes it nice. So I think it's a really nice feature, and you can, if you want to fly it manually, you just click the button and you can fly it manually. You can fly it in FMS mode, so that's the pre-programmed profiles in FMS mode, or you can put it in manual mode and fly it. You set the speed, and it'll do what you ask it to do in manual mode, and it's easy to switch back and forth. I think FMS mode is probably the you know, the way to go until maybe you get down low. And as you saw here on the, let me just film this. As you saw on the performance
number 995 Kilo Bravo, change my frequency
section here. So you go into performance and active performance cruise, and I have it in normal cruise, but you know. You can go to max cruise. I'll talk about that in a second.
Roger.
You have all these intermediate cruise profiles that you can select if you want to do an economy type cruise. I have it in normal cruise. Maximum cruise takes it up to max continuous torque.
193 Charlie Golf.
But if you read the manual says Piper doesn't. No, not Piper. Pratt & Whitney doesn't recommend it. On the M700, that limitation or that recommendation, it's actually not a limitation on this airplane, they just don't recommend it. On that airplane, on the M700, they removed that recommendation, and that's likely how they get the 300 knot cruise out of it. So that's one, you know, upgrade to the M700 that they give you a little more cruise speed. Performance, we're at 23
and airports inside
at 508. Normal cruise, which is about 1350 pounds of torque,
terminated contact tower 119.3,
and we're getting a true airspeed at 264. It's ISA plus 13, so it's pretty warm, and the fuel burn is 300 pounds. So do a quick calculation on that. 300 divided by 6.7. It's about 44 gallons an hour.
98492, contact Marshall approach 121.25.
So I wrote down some when I was playing with the intermediate cruise settings. Must have been here. Yeah, so
44614 Casey Center Dodge.
at 16.5 yesterday I was at the 1200 torque setting. That's an intermediate cruise pre-programmed in the performance cruise performance. I was 305 pounds, so about the same fuel flow at 230. And I was getting 240 knots true at plus 15. At 16.5 on the 1,000 pound intermediate torque setting or cruise setting, it was 275 pounds of fuel an hour, 41 gallons, and about 225 knots cruise. So, you know, Meridian's had that kind of benchmark 260 knots true at 26,000 feet on 260 pounds of fuel an hour. So, and that's really what this airplane does. The big difference about this airplane is the useful load. So let's get the book and look at the useful load on it. These M600s have a 6,050 pound gross weight, By the way, on the cabin, we're at 7,600 foot cabin at 23,000 feet. So this airplane has a empty weight of 3762. So 6,050 minus 3762. That's a 2288 useful load. So we'll just figure 300 pounds average fuel flow. So if you want 3 hours of fuel, that's 900 pounds, and an hour reserve, that'd be 1,200 pounds. And this airplane holds, I believe it's 1750 fuel. So you need 1,200. So 2288 minus 1,200. That's a 1,100 pound payload with 3 hours and an IFR reserve of fuel. That's where the M600 shines, is the useful load. So I'm going to start preparing for a descent. Now let's just look at this checklist. Destination elevation, that's up here. Okay, so I'm going to check the altitude at Omaha. Epley, 985. I look up here and there's 985 there. That's good. Windshield defrost I don't need. Windshield heat I'm not going to need. Power lever. Auto throttle's engaged here. I'm in nav mode, FMS mode, altitude hold. You can see all that. Pressurization, we're going to monitor on the way down. Control panel as required. And let's see. Minimum approved operating speed with the autopilot couple is 90 knots. That's a note to the limitation. The auto throttle will disconnect if the aircraft intercepts the glide slope, glide path prior to selecting speed source, switch to manual. So if you don't change to manual up here on the speed source prior to glide path intercept, it's going to disconnect the auto throttle.
With you at 8,500. November 315 Golf Charlie, Minneapolis Center, welcome to Beatrice altimeter.
Altimeters are set.
Just advise when you have the weather there.
Let's look at the ATIS. Let's look at the ATIS at Omaha frequencies.
They only got one note in there for you. There's an obstruction tower light, 3.7 nautical miles south-southwest of Beatrice, 416 feet AGL is serviceable.
Okay, construction tower southwest of Beatrice Airport, 315 Golf Charlie. Minneapolis Center, S1.
Let's see what else we got here. Fuel quantity's good. We're going to go back to manual on the pumps and the ignition. That's our approach. Disconnect gear flaps. Pretty straightforward checklist.
November 612 Tango Papa, descend and maintain 16,000. The Omaha altimeter 29904.
Descend and maintain 16,000. 612 Tango Papa. This is as easy as setting 16,000 on the altitude. $16,000 set. And then I'm just going to hit speed on the flight level change, and you can see it goes into a programmed 202 knots in the descent on the auto throttle. And then the auto throttle is it's not doing anything. Well, yeah, it is. Now you can see it's bringing the power back because we're approaching our 200 knot prescribed speed. So again, this is all automatic based on the FMS FMS mode. If I went to manual mode, I would set the speed how I want it. So it's pretty easy system to manage. And also this version of the G3000 has the level button for the autopilot, which Cirrus kind of authored. And your auto land here with the guarded switch. See some of the improvements to the M class that Piper's made on these airplanes. GI 275 backup. All your switches. We leveled at 16 and you see that auto throttle doing its thing, bringing the power up, taking it back to max torque. Omaha Meridian 612 Tango Papa is 16000. We have whiskey.
6, good day.
119er 6 for 72 Delta.
Number 612 Tango Papa, Malpers, expect 14 left, descend and maintain 6000.
Descend and maintain 6000, 612 Tango Papa.
Number 2 Tango Papa, descend and maintain 4000.
Descend and maintain 4000, 2 Tango Papa.
Citation 3 Sierra Hotel, resume on navigation to Blair, appears a couple in the pattern, squawk VFR, change to advisory approved.
So now I'm in manual mode and I'm going to dial my speed back because I want the airplane to start slowing down. My gear speed is 170 and first notch of flaps is 147. So I'm going to come back to 180. And so the auto throttle is handling the power, slowing the airplane to 180 knots, and I've asked for 1,000 feet a minute down. So now we'll see the power come up. Power lever's coming up. As we start to level out. Okay, let's take one quick look at this checklist. I'm going to slow down to 170 now, because that's my gear speed. Okay, altimeters are set. Fuel pumps go to manual. Okay, fuel pumps are on. Ignition goes to manual. Fuel quantity's good and balanced. Seats, armrest, seatbelt, auto throttle, I'm going to leave it on. Approach speed. Landing gear, flaps, landing light switch. I'll put that on. I'll put the pulse light on.
And Omaha, United 2128, descending out of 18.5 on the
All right.
Number 2 Tango Papa, Omaha is about 1 to 2 o'clock, 10 miles.
Inside, 2 Tango Papa.
Number 2 Tango Papa, cleared visual approach, runway 14 left, contact tower 132.1, good day.
Okay, that was clear for the visual, 14 left, and 32.1 for the tower. 2 Tango Papa.
Affirmative.
Cleared for the visual, going to heading mode.
United 1592 Omaha departure, radar contact.
Okay, gears down.
5,000.
3 green flaps.
United 2120.